The second thing we said that was going to help our country become fantastic were new inventions. And there are lots of folks out there inventing, of course, and I know that you're familiar with the one that I'm going to circle right here, Thomas Edison. I know you've heard of him before, who invents all kinds of things like the record player and batteries and so on. But these inventions change the way we work, and that's what I want you to understand. They change the way we work so that now we're more efficient. That means we work quicker and make more in a shorter amount of time, but we can also work longer hours. Now think about it. Think about what that means, right? Prior to the invention of something like, oh, I don't know, the light bulb, right? We were limited in our ability to work. We were limited by something pretty simple, right? The sun. Daylight. I don't know, or maybe something like a candle, right? We were limited with the amount of light that we could use. And when you're in a factory, you can't run. You need light, right? You can't run a factory on flipping candles or oil lamps, right? But when you create the light bulb, when you create this idea that we now have something that powers us 24 hours a day, think about how that revolutionizes everything from hospitals, where people are taken care of 24 hours a day, to working, where now our factories are running, folks, 24 hours a day. It's those factories running 24 hours a day that allows us to produce so much that you end up with that really high, remember we talked about by 1900, that really high gross national product, GNP. So, inventions like the light bulb really help us work more efficiently. Inventions like the telephone change the way we communicate. Something like the telephone itself, created by Alexander Graham Bell, that's revolutionary because you can now speak to people completely, clearly, with no confusion whatsoever. And that's really important to understand. If that doesn't sound like that big of a deal to you, imagine what it would like to communicate before the telephone. Now, this is a telegram right here. This is something that you would send before you had telephones, and that was the thing that you used to press Morse code on, right? The little like beep 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 thing. That's this up here that I'm circling. That's a telegraph. And you would use the telegraph, and you would end up getting one of these telegrams. And look, here's one from Henry B. Allen, Franklin Institute, to Dr. Enrico Fermi. And this says reservations made at Rittenhouse Club, 1811 Walnut Street for both evenings. Okay, so what time? What time do I need to be there? What about dress? Right? There's a lot of details not inside this telegram. Well, if now all of a sudden we see something like the telephone, which lets us have this access, how much better for everyone when it comes down to business.